Welcome to Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm Davey Moans. I played this game back in 2017 but did not earn the platinum. So when this game was recently remastered for the PS5 with a fresh trophy list, I decided to give it another try.
Here we go again.
This game has 55 trophies to earn. 12 are automatic for the story, 35 are from miscellaneous stuff, and 8 are from grabbing this game's collectibles. Of those 55 trophies, 48 are bronze, so the devs decided to be pretty stingy with the silver and gold.
Spare change, ma'am.
The most challenging trophy would probably be getting all of the gold medals at the hunting grounds. It's not too bad, but none of the trophies in this game are too hard. Collecting all the metal flowers is the most tedious since there are 30 of them across the map. But overall, I had a lot of fun playing this game again. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Thanks for watching, now let's get started. The game begins by showing us young Aloy living as an outcast of the Nora tribe.
She's an outcast, to be shunned.
She's not a fan of that and runs off, only to fall into a hole in the ground. Down here I learned that Aloy has the same origin story as Batman. But most importantly, Aloy finds a focus down here, a device that lets her scan technology. Our father figure Ross pulls us out and teaches us some survival skills to earn the first trophy of the game. Aloy continues to be bullied by the tribe, and Ross tells Aloy about a way to get the tribe to accept her.
The tribe's rite of passage held every year.
It's called the Proving. Aloy agrees to this as it's the only way she can learn about where she came from.
Who was my mother?
And that means we need a training montage.
We'd best get started then.
To business to defeat the Huns. You're the saddest bunch I ever met, but you can bet before we're through, Mr. I'll make a man out of you.
As adult Aloy, we get a taste of this game's combat. The main way to damage machines revolves around hitting weak spots or components. Shooting off components will deal damage to machines and can also yield Aloy valuable resources to craft different ammo types. Some components, like blaze canisters, can also be detonated for big damage, like on this sawtooth that Ross had you hunt as a last test before the Proving. When we arrive at the Proving, we meet a suspicious guy named Olin. He's also wearing a focus, and after acting very shady, he avoids us.
Wait! No. We'll talk later. Have to go.
The next day, we start the Proving. It's a series of hunting and climbing challenges, but Aloy triumphs. And things are finally looking up for her.
Nope.
Well, at least that gives us a trophy. But now Aloy has to fight for her life against the mysterious attackers. We find out that they're also using focuses. But are about to get bodied by their leader when Ross rescues us. Unfortunately for Ross, he's a mentor to the main character, so he's cooked.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
The big guy fucks off after that and orders the place to be burned by his minions. That at least gives Ross the chance to push Aloy off a cliff.
You what?
This works out okay somehow, and we wake up inside the Nora mountain. We look through one of our attacker's focuses, and we learn we were targeted after being seen by Olin. We also learn we have a DNA match with a mysterious woman, and Aloy thinks this may be her mother.
Are you my mother?
But John Denver is here to inform her she actually has a mountain mama.
The mountain is your mother.
Mountain Mama, take me home.
Aloy approaches the door she was born from, but is unable to enter due to the Alpha registry being corrupted.
Identity cannot be confirmed.
And so the stage is set. Aloy must travel from her homeland in search of her attackers and a way to restore the corruption of the mountain. Things get off to a bit of a rough start when the corruptor machine attacks the gate. Bringing it down gives us the ability to override machines as it does. And with that, the game opens up a bit and we can start taking on some of the side content.
Here we go.
Like any open world game, there are viewpoints to sync to unfog the map. In this game, they take the form of tall necks. While getting to this tall neck, I performed my 10th stealth takedown for a trophy. I figured I'd pick up another trophy here, so I equipped a weapon mod for the first time. I cleared out the building and found a spot I could reach the tall neck from. I wouldn't quite call it a puzzle, but you have to climb up to the top of the tall neck to override it.
Oh boy, yeah.
And doing this for the first time gives us a trophy and clears up part of the map. This game has a total of 54 collectibles I need to grab, split between 4 types. Those being ancient vessels, vantage points, Banuk figures, and metal flowers. The first metal flower I found was actually in a cave with a bit more to it, as when I moved further in I discovered a set of ancient armor. This armor is locked behind finding 5 power cells around the map. With that in mind, I tried to leave the cave, but I couldn't find how the fuck to get out. Seriously, look around here. Where the fuck do I climb? After jumping at the wall randomly for a bit, I literally had to look up where to get out. And oh look, it's hidden behind this fucking vine. Back to side activities. This game has 5 types. I already covered the tall necks, so let's go to the hunting grounds. There are 3 trials to complete at each hunting ground, and you get a medal based on how fast you do it. I'll have to earn the gold medal, or blazing sun as the game calls it, on every trial. For now, I was only able to beat 2 of the challenges, but did enough to get all 3 of the silver or half sun medals at this grounds. I also got a trophy for hitting level 10. This game also has bandit camps to eliminate. We all know how these work. Tag enemies, stealthily pick guys off, get detected. Wait, what?
Oh, fuck.
But clearing it earns us a trophy. Like the bandit camps, there are corrupted zones of machines. For these, you just have to kill everything there, and by completing the first one, I get a trophy. The last side activity to work on are the cauldrons. These are basically dungeons inside machine ruins that contain a few enemies, but at the end you'll encounter a mini-boss. You set free the mini-boss and have to defeat it to access the cauldron core. Doing this the first time gives me a trophy, and each of these will give Aloy new overrides to take over more machines as we go. And now with all of those side activities started, let's get back to the main story. Aloy meets up with a Nora war chief, and I'm tasked with clearing 3 enemy camps. This seems like a good place to work on a trophy for killing 3 enemies with strikes from above. I got 1 at the first camp, and was able to get the 2nd and 3rd at the last camp. And I didn't plan it, but I immediately got another trophy for 30 headshot kills. After that Varl fails his Captain Price impression, he leaves me hanging to kill this pair of guys.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
After that, I blow up their stack of explosive barrels and clear out the camp with barely any help, and the war chief says some dumbass shit.
Let your spears and arrows rest in the bodies of the fallen. They are tainted.
You serious?
And I get a trophy. With the Nora homeland safe for now, I try to head to the next section of the map, and I have to kill another corruptor. I said I have to kill another corruptor. Doing this gives me another story trophy, as well as access to the rest of the map. We make it to the city of Meridian and are able to search Owen's house for clues. Aaron, a guy we met at the Proving, helps us out since his sister was killed and her death may be related to all of this. We find proof that Owen was working with the killers, and Aaron also asks us to help him look into his sister's murder.
A few minutes of your focus is all I need.
First, I go after Omen and catch him chilling with the boys.
Bring us back the lands that were taken.
And here for the first time, we get a little outside help from one of this game's best characters.
Who is this?
An interested party.
With their focuses down, I try to pick off the cultist one by one, but the scripting of this mission is a bit wonky if you don't directly attack everyone.
You had your chance.
Killing the first enemy triggers Owen like a sleeper agent, and regardless of my detection, Owen tries to 1v15 the rest of the fight, and he gets absolutely fucking clapped over and over. I hit level 25 during this fight and eventually make my way down and talk to Owen.
I'll tell you everything.
He gives us some info on the attackers, saying they're called the Eclipse, and their leader is Hades. and he points us to Maker's End. I regrouped with Erend after this, and by searching his sister's death site leads us to believe she might still be alive. The trail leads us to a guy named Derval's camp. I free some machines they had tied up, thinking they would help me clear the camp, but really they only just fuck me over.
Have a go.
Inside, Ursa is being tortured. After ending her torture, she just kind of fucking dies.
She's lost the will to live.
No, please.
Gonna cry?
We still have to track down Derval now, and it turns out he's been making a bomb in the city.
Push.
Our genius idea is to just push it out the fucking window. And that's somehow not a problem.
We did it, Patrick! We saved the city!
He makes it to the king, however. And I really tried to have a thunder gun fight with him, but Aloy was just too fucking slow. So I shot him in the head a few times, causing instant CTE, as you can see here. Then Erend's bitch ass comes out of nowhere to steal my glory. Like, bruh. Whatever, we get a trophy, and now it's time for more side activities. Let's talk about this game's machines. By this time I had earned a trophy for defeating 10 machines that were weak to fire. This game has 24 different machines to fight, split into 4 categories. And naturally, playing through the game, you'll encounter them all and get a trophy when you kill all of the recon machines, all of the transport machines, all of the acquisition machines, and eventually all of the combat machines. But much like a boner during class, that'll have to come later. I did the rest of the cauldrons around this time, and predictably the last one has a thunderjaw. I tried to actually use my brain and set some traps for it, but honestly that didn't do shit. I got close to dying, but finally brought it down and got the trophy for completing all the cauldrons. That also means I can override every machine, and by putting those to use I overrode 7 to get the next trophy. Now at this point I had done all but one of the Tallnecks that had most of the collectibles. A lot of what I was missing was directly on the way to the next story mission, so with the path set, let's start cleaning it up. And as I get to this vantage point here, I'm still missing 1 metal flower, 2 ancient vessels, and 1 last vantage. I tried to get that last vantage point after this, but when I made it to that area, I was greeted by this cutscene. And this dialogue. So I knew I fucked up, and yeah, I got absolutely clapped. But after that, the next 2 collectibles can be picked up during the next story mission, so let's go there. Like I said, at the start of this mission, I grabbed 2 ancient vessels to finish those off and get that trophy. Next, I encountered a Deathbringer machine for the first time.
1 eternity later.
We loot a focus from one of these guys and interact with the main enemy of the game, Hades. He refers to Aloy as the Entity.
The entity lives.
Which is kind of an odd thing to say.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
We scale the building past Hades and can view some holograms that start to finally put some of the puzzle pieces of the story together.
A glitch in the chariot line.
Your killer robots?
A guy named Ted Farrow and his company have lost control of a swarm of robots that can self-replicate and they feed on biomass.
It's bad.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
Farrow asks Dr. Sobek for help and they mention a Project Zero Dawn.
Project Zero Dawn.
After hearing all of that, I see I can climb further up the building, and I find the first power cell I will need to unlock that ancient armor from earlier. With some questions answered and more opened up, Silence appears to drop some bars on Aloy.
That's your reaction to everything you've just learned? To whine like a spoiled child?
After that, we get a trophy, and I follow a lead to the Grave Horde. Inside, I get the second power cell and confront more cultists fucking with machines. This leads to another Deathbringer fight, and I thought I'd just keep the high ground.
I got you for 3 minutes! 3 minutes of heat time!
But that didn't work out very well. I had to fight it down in the arena, but I managed to whittle it down and find more ancient recordings. We hear about a weapons program, and Silence is able to locate it, but unfortunately, it's right below the Shadow Karja base.
It's directly underneath the Citadel.
This prompts Silence to have us crash their focus network.
Hello there.
Okay, so the game set me up here, like I'm obviously supposed to stealth kill this guy, but that causes me to get seen immediately. What the fuck? Whatever, we find the source of their network and go to disable it only to get the shit zapped out of me and Hades detects us.
Entity has come here.
Me? Just hanging around.
But Aloy is able to take down the network anyways, and we have to haul ass out of the camp, dodging bullets and explosions on the way. At least after that cardio, I get the next story trophy.
If I could talk.
With the network down, we can get inside the Karja base. Once again, Aloy is able to open the ancient door and we discover the truth of Zero Dawn. It's actually an AI called Gaia, designed to shut down the Pharaoh robots after the Earth has been basically destroyed, and then recreate machines and eventually people. This explains a lot about this world's lore, but Sobek mentions an Apollo subordinate that is supposed to pass on all of the human knowledge to the future people. This obviously did not happen, so we push on for more answers. And that brings me to a little puzzle that seems simple enough. There's a code over here and an audio log that says everything is installed backwards. Okay, fair enough. But when I try that, the door doesn't open. I tried more combinations, but had to turn to YouTube. And the fourth one just isn't backwards for some reason. Like, what the fuck? Did the devs make a mistake here, or am I just retarded? There are more enemies ahead, and at this point I'm just launching grenades at everybody. To end the mission, we find the Alpha Registry that will let Aloy open up the door back in the Nora mountain. But the guy that killed Ross shows up and captures us. He gives Silence a run for his money on spitting bars at Aloy.
Conversely, I was meant to capture you. Such a powerful device, isn't it? And yet, so fragile.
What the fuck?
He lowers us into a coliseum, giving me a story trophy, and now I have a fight with this behemoth. Behemoths have to be one of my favorite machines to fight in this game. They just have a shitload of weak points, which just make it really satisfying to fight.
I'm gonna come.
Silence crashes the party to save Aloy, and the big guy shouts some Star Wars quotes after him. When I return to the mountain, I find another power cell and restore the Alpha Registry.
Alpha Registry restored.
Inside, we hear from Gaia as she explains an unknown data transmission caused Hades to attempt to destroy life. In response, Gaia blew herself up.
I am ordering Gaia Prime's reactor to overload.
But first created a clone of Elizabeth Sobek, that being Aloy. She intended Aloy to use the Ancients' tech to rebuild the Gaia core, but corruption of the system prevented Aloy from doing all of that until now. She sends us to Gaia Prime where we can pick up the Master Override to purge Hades. This gives me another trophy and I return to the site of that Stormbird. But I have better gear this time, so it's my turn to do the clapping.
Yeah, boy.
My reward is a trophy for killing all combat machines, and the way is now clear to grab that last vantage point and complete that trophy. I grab another power cell and we get the last piece of the puzzle from the old ones as we see that Ted Farrow deleted the Apollo archive.
I've purged Apollo. It's gone. All of it. Every copy.
Oh, and he kills all the people working on Zero Dawn. I grab the Master Override, get a trophy, and now we're at the last mission of the game. And that means it's time to clean up the rest of the side content.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
I start the cleanup by returning to the cave Aloy fell into as a child. In here, I grab the final metal flower, and I also grab the last power cell. I take the power cells back to the ancient armory, and I'm able to grab the armor to get another trophy. This armor gives you a regenerating shield on top of your health, and that will be very helpful for the rest of the cleanup. I was in the Nora part of the map for that, so I spent a few minutes fast traveling around trying to smash all the training dummies. There are 23 of these fuckers, but breaking all of them gives me another trophy. I wanted to clear the rest of the corrupted zones next, and I thought I only had 2 left, but the trophy didn't pop after the second one. So I scanned the map and I found another. And another. This time against 2 rock breakers, so I do my best Kevin Bacon from Tremors impression and kill these worms. But I was still missing zones, so I was just way the fuck off thinking I only had 2.
Is the man retarded?
But the next one I found was actually the last one, and I get the trophy. Next up is to get all the remaining blazing suns at all the hunting grounds. These were all pretty easy. The one that gave me the most trouble required me to loot 4 Shellwalker crates.
Fuck out of the way! I can't see!
There's just a lot going on here, but when I did beat it, I was still pretty close to the time limit. Aside from that, I got most of them on the first try, maybe a second or third try here or there, but nothing too crazy. I also got a miscellaneous trophy during one of these for removing heavy weapons from machines. But doing all of this gives me a bronze trophy for getting all of the blazing suns at 1 hunting ground, a silver trophy for getting all the half suns, and finally a gold trophy for getting all the blazing suns. The hunting lodge also has some side missions for you to do, and the final one has you track down Red Moth, who's apparently a special Thunderjaw, but my grenades don't seem to care.
Boom! Roasted.
And killing it gives us the next trophy. I do more side quests next, and here I have a chance to scan a rock breaker, giving me a trophy for scanning all of the machines. I should have gotten this trophy a lot earlier in the game, but the first rock breaker I fought killed me after I scanned it, so it didn't count. But ultimately this quest has us rescue the Child King of the Shadow Karja. Don't ask. We have to hold off some pursuers, and this may be what I'm doing. But this is what it feels like. Another Thunderjaw shows up, but that ends the quest and gives us a trophy. After that, I just have a few side quests to finish, and during that process I hit level 50. And now I'm ready to finish the game, and I should also get the platinum by beating it. The final battle is at Meridian, as Hades needs to use the Spire to transmit a signal to raise its army of Pharaoh robots. I get a trophy for having all allies join Aloy. This is due to completing certain side missions during the game, and Aloy wakes up to the start of the battle. Things kick off with a fight against the leader of the cultists, and I literally mag dump a 50 cal into his exposed abs before he eventually goes down.
I cannot.
Stings, doesn't it?
With him out of the way, we have to defend the main gate with the cannon from waves of enemies. I hit level 52 while doing this, meaning I can get all of the skill points for a trophy. Honestly, you should be able to get this trophy a lot earlier because these blue skills over here don't count for the trophy. They're actually a part of the DLC, so I had to overlevel a bit to be able to do this now. But now all we have to do is beat the game. Despite killing everything, Aloy gets cutscened and the city is breached. We follow the path of destruction up to the Spire, and with next to no help from these losers, have one final fight with the Deathbringer. And this one can take more punishment than Riley Reed, but killing it gives us the chance to shut down Hades. And that is the end of the game. I get the last story trophy, followed by the platinum. If you watched all the way to this point, thank you so much. Let me know what you think of this game down in the comments, and I'll see you next time.
Is that it? I think so.